Welcome back. My name is Favor. This is never too late. Okay, if you are wondering why I'm still wearing the same clothes, I did the whole video the same day. All the video you see me that I wear the same clothes is because I did all the same day. I don't have time to start going to change my clothes, and because I wouldn't want the video to be too long, so just stop it somewhere and continue. So don't be surprised. Why should they wear one clothes and she not get clothes? I get clothes pink but cool, but for time's sake. All right, welcome back to my channel. If you're watching me from Facebook or TikTok or YouTube, I want to really appreciate you for following me. I hope so far the previous video has been a blessing to you and you have learned from it. Okay, this is Never Too Late channel. My name is Favor Asama Eche, and if you are wondering what this video is all about, if you're just watching me for the first time, please do well to just subscribe, to like, to share, to comment. Drop your comment after you have listened to it. And if you have not listened to any of the previous video before and you want to understand where we are coming from, please do well to go back to the previous video and you will understand some things that I will say here, because some things I will say here are continuations of all the previous videos that I've said. So I am here to share my story of how I went back to school at the age of 41 as a mother, as a mother of two little kids, as a wife, married to a not very supportive husband, and as a minister of the gospel who's serving God to the best of my capacity. So the challenges with financial challenges and with language barriers, so a lot of things were against my going back to school, but I did anyway with the help of God. So I'm here to show you the story stage by stage, how it all happened and how the process is going and how far it has gone and how God has helped me so far. So I was talking about the motivation behind my going back to school at the age of 41, and my objective of returning back to school and the inspiration behind it. So I've shared so far my background story, how I started and where I came from. I know that go to the previous video, you will hear all those ones. And I've shared the first steps I took when I first of all got that idea, that push that I've been in me right from childhood to go to school to finish my education. When it came back after becoming a child, of course, so which means the first thing that helped me, the first inspiration behind my wants to go back to school was the Holy Ghost. The moment I got born again, I got that first inspiration, like, okay, there was a push within me and I said, go back to school. So I did. Perhaps I didn't ask God when timing and all that, but I believe it was also God's timing. But the challenges that surrounds it, which I will share, both spiritual and physical challenges that surrounds the education and my life in general. So I went back to that school. I said 2020, I started this pursuit 2013, like I said in my previous video, and 2019 I went back. So between these years these 2 years that I went back to school, I will only score one paper and did 4 papers to be able to get the secondary school adult secondary school result for me to be able to proceed. But it wasn't forthcoming. So I got totally discouraged. So fast forward to 2021, where I took up the cross again. So what was my motive? Why did I take up the cross again? My motive, the reason why I really wanted to achieve this, despite the discouragement, the challenge, the first motive that I really wanted to school, number one, was I know that I was destined to go to school. I loved education. I loved education. I wanted to fulfill that part, fill that vacuum that was the longing inside of me, that I know that I was more than what I was settling for. Something inside of me make me know that you're just more than you are meant to become something. So that thing that I know, that knowing inside of me, that you are not just meant to be an ordinary person, you're meant to be able to advance in education. This is not where you just belong. So that longing that has been there, I wanted to fulfill that, fill up that vacuum. I wanted to become something. I just wanted I wanted to make sure that I'm relevant on earth. I know that if there are a lot of people that are relevant without being educated or without going to university. Okay, I'm not downgrading that area. What I mean is I know that part of my script that God wrote for me. Education was part of it. So it was part of it. I know it wasn't the will of God that I shouldn't go to school. Something was holding it. So that vacuum was always there, and I wanted to fill up that vacuum. That was my first motive in the first place. I just wanted to make sure that I have a perfection. I just want to fill that vacuum. That was my first motive. And the objective was to make sure I become somebody. And I looked at my mother's children. We are 7 in number. 5 of us are into music, 2 are not. All right. And from 8 to number 6, none of us went to university. None of us could proceed from beyond secondary school. Right, and my objective was to make sure that thing is broken. The number 7, our last born, she forced her way to get a BS. She forced her way. It was God helped her, but she pushed. My parents didn't sponsor her. She sponsored herself. Just the way I loved education growing up, to the point that when it gets to some season I want to do jam or rather anything, I could go and ask anybody for money just to make sure, but never committed immorality on that part. I was a very good girl growing up, right? So, except our last born, she pushed. She said, no, I don't want to be like others. Even though I may not be able to go to the big university and all that, but at least I must make sure that I achieve something. She broke out. She was the only one, but it was also less. It wasn't a major university. She went to an open university and she pushed by herself. So that burden was there, that I can 5 of us, none of us were able to, we could not advance. And know that from polygamous home, there's always a challenge and competition and all that. But I didn't really have the mindset of competing, but I just wanted to feed that vacuum. I just feel that this is what was not normal. For 7 children, none could amount to anything educationally. None could have a certificate, something to show. Even the last one that went to just to set me for less, just to make sure she broke. I said, no, I know that I was made for more. So that was my objective, was to make sure I proved the devil wrong. That no, 7 of us cannot be like this. And my life cannot end like this. My objective was to tell the devil I can become what God wants me to become. Now that I'm a child, when I wasn't a child of God, you took advantage of that time that I was ignorant of my rights. But now that I'm a child of God, I know my rights. So my objective was to tell that altars of my father's house, to tell the devil that no, I can become what God wants me to become. You can't decide how far I will go in my life. I know that education was part of the script that God has written for me. So I wanted to achieve it. So my objective was to make sure I become something. I make a difference. That I can prove to people like you that is listening to me that it is never too late. So when you realize that you have settled for less, get up, you can still push it. So if I don't take that step, it will be difficult for me to tell you that it is possible. So, and I'm seeing my objective coming to manifestation. I'm seeing that through this video, some mindset will be rechanged and they'll be able to achieve their purpose. So my first motive was to make sure that I fill up the vacuum that has been inside of me, and that it has been achieved. It's still being achieved. So second, the objective was to make sure that people that were denied that right from childhood, people that the enemy, the powers, the forces of darkness clouded their mind and made sure that they tell them that they made them believe they cannot do it. They can do it, like listening to me. So that was my objective.